Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Chev. Welcome to the channel and the fourth episode in the Subaru rebuild series. So today we're going to be tearing down the EJ20 that I just pulled out of the Wagon here. And it's going to be a pretty thorough video taking off all this intake parts, because to be honest, I didn't pay attention when I tore down that last motor. It was like a few months ago when I took the intake manifold off, so don't really remember how it went back together. So I just want to document this so I can go back and use it for reference. So yeah, like I said in the last episode, this is the replacement engine that the previous owner had installed, and we're going to go a little bit more into that. One thing is, I was pulling out these transmission bolts. There was a helicoil in here, and that just kind of goes to show you what kind of shop put this in here. It's probably just a small shop that needs to slam them in and get them out the door. So yeah, they put a helicoil in there, but I went through and chased all these holes with a tap, and they seem to be doing all right. So shouldn't have an issue there. And another thing is, they took this engine from a 03 WRX, and in 03 they did not have this sensor right here for the PCV valve. So what they could have did is swap wiring harnesses from the other engine that blew up, and we wouldn't have this problem. But I'm sure that was probably just extra labor that they didn't want to do. So yeah, it's just been stuck with the check engine light, which didn't affect drivability at all, but it's just annoying to have. But I do have the wiring harness from that other engine, so I'm going to be swapping that in, and we should be golden. But let me show you. I dug out all the paperwork for this car. The previous owner was very on top of stuff. He always went to the Subaru dealer, or he did go to a few other mechanics, but mostly the Subaru dealer. And mind you, this is the original owner, so I got stacks of paperwork that is all documentation of just thousands of dollars of service work. So, that's pretty good stuff to have. And if I sold this car tomorrow, I would not be able to find a car this well documented. So just another reason I want to hang on to it. But yeah, let's take a look. So here's all the paperwork he had. I got all the original books. Let's just look through this book for a second. This is what you would have had going into the dealer in 2004, showcasing all the new cars. So some legacies, Forester, got the STI, very cool. Look at that, for serious drivers only. Yeah, you can pause and read that if you want. Then we got the WRX right here. And up here in the corner, look at that. Could you imagine buying this thing fresh off the showroom floor? Probably would have been a pretty neat car. And then you got the 2.5 RS, still a cool car. Small on the budget, big on the fun. This was actually one of my first cars, which I still have, also sitting in a field right now, is a silver 2.5 RS just like this. And that was my first Subaru, and it's what got me hooked. I bought this car, and the driver delivered it to me, and I got it in the middle of a snowstorm, and the first mile I was hooked. It was just unbelievable how awesome the all-wheel drive in the snow was. So yeah, we got that. But anyways, let's close that. Here's the original window sticker, WRX. You can read some of this stuff if you want. It's always cool to see. Where was this? Massachusetts. That's where it was bought. Suggested retail price $24,500. What a great price. So yeah, we got the books, and here is where I dug out the receipt for the engine. Just take a look at the price here. $6,200. Super bad handwriting. Can hardly even read some of this stuff. But it looks like the used engine was $4,000. So you got water pump, timing belt, plugs, all this stuff done. So by Bill's Repair in Tonka, Illinois. So yeah, not knocking them too bad. I mean, they successfully got the engine in and the car running, so I guess they did the job. But let me go ahead and show you the check engine light diagnostic. So he went in to have this figured out, and he was very upfront with all this stuff with me, so that was good. But you can read, customer has replaced engines and the current engine is not equipped with the correct wiring harness or PCV sensor. So that was the problem the whole time. But anyways, that is enough talking. Let's get down to tearing this apart and seeing what we got. Alright, so that actually wasn't too bad. So let's go ahead and just take a look at what we got here. It's pretty dirty. Looks like there's a little nest right here. Something was living in there. Nice. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just flip this thing over and see what the other side looks like. Alright, so now we're looking at the bottom of the engine, and everything is pretty much what you'd expect from a car that's seen a lot of snow and salt. Everything's rusted and yeah, not looking too hot. So these heat shields, I'm going to have to cut these off because all the bolts are completely rusted to where they are. And we need to cut these off in order to get to the bolts on the header. So yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Alright, so that pretty much wraps up that video. If you're still watching, thank you very much. And I definitely think we're making some good progress on this engine. We got the intake manifold off, and we also got the headers off. And it's very well documented, so it should be a snap putting it back together. And I'm pretty confident that this engine should not have any issues, but you know, anything can happen, so we'll have to see in the next video. And I also pulled out the new turbo for comparison versus the stock WRX turbo. And you can see it's a pretty good step up from the old turbo. And pretty excited to see what kind of power this makes. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you can give it a like, that would be great. And we will catch you in the next one.